Hi there, I'm Lisa with Unlimited Book Reviews, and thanks for stopping by today to check out the review for Drug Gang Vengeance, the Drug Gang Part 2 book by Neil Walker. You can see the cover there. So the stats on this book, it's under the same heading as before in the same genre as the first one, under fiction urban life. That seems to be what it's falling under on both .com and .ca right now. Currently ranking at 11,384 on .com and 417 on .ca. It's really kind of a crime fiction story, and it's the Drug Gang series. This is book number 2. And it's 288 pages. I would recommend you read the first one before reading this one. It definitely would make a lot more sense. The main characters in this story, we still have our hero John, and his friends in this book are Alan, Blair, and Peter. And he has a girlfriend named Lisa, and it's written in third person again, with point of view switches between them, and there's definitely more point of view switches than in the first book. In the first book it was just here and there. Definitely more point of view of the antagonists. Again, I think there was that briefly in the last book, but this one also has additional points of view, which is kind of nice. It makes it more well-rounded. So the book description: the drug gang is back. It's time to pay for your sins. John Kennedy is on his way out of a life of crime in Sydney when he is hunted down by the drug gang, the Brotherhood. This leads to a spiral of vengeance and violence that stretches right across the globe. Part 2 of the Drug Gang series. So it's pretty basic, the description, but I think we all have a pretty good idea of how we want it to go. So, spoiler alert, but it's pretty obvious what this book is about, but the plot and character development is nice. So he's a young entrepreneur man. He leaves the gang lifestyle of the Brotherhood by killing the leaders. He's tracked down and learns that the gang didn't fall apart, but was picked up by the next leader in the hierarchy of the gang. Of course, they torture him and his girlfriend and leave them broke and broken. And then he has to recover and plan to go back after them and seek out his own vengeance to wipe out the entire gang. He has to kill them all or die in the process. So that's what the book is really about, and it's him kind of coming to terms with he's going to have to do more than what he did in the past. Like in the past, he's always held back, but this time he can't. So originality, yes. Suspense, yes. Humor, a little bit. Drama or conflict, plenty of that. Mystery, a little bit. Action, yes, lots of fight scenes. Under the genre crime fiction, basically the crime starts right off the hop. The first chapter is kind of a flash forward to later in the book. So it's kind of a foreshadowing. And then the action really starts around 20% into the book. And then, they're found around 25% into the book. And then basically 57% to 97% is hitting it hard and going after them. It's very descriptive. There is drug use. There are guns. People get shot. There is rape. And the happily ever after is, yeah, definitely there. But, if you read carefully, you know that there's a few little hanging things that could come back and bite him in the butt. The writing, the author is Neil Walker, written in a very easy to read third person style. No typos, no weird inconsistencies, you aren't left hanging at the end. He still has 3 out of 3 books in Kindle Unlimited that I could tell were his, and yeah, it was definitely a very good book. I liked it. So quotes highlighted by the reader, there weren't any yet, so I picked my top ones. I always pick too many, but I try to keep it to 3 here. It's not my fault these guys bleed like little bitches. That was Alan, his buddy, right at the very beginning of the book. Life is painted in shades of gray, said John, black and white, good and evil. It's just a way to simplify life and make it easier for people to deal with. People love it too. That's why so many people go to church on a Sunday. So that's his philosophy there. The bullet struck his head with devastating effect, going clean through and exploding with a huge bloody exit wound out of the back of it. John had literally blown his brains out. I actually changed his in that quote from the name because I didn't want you to know who that was. But I also wanted to give an example of, how graphic it is, but it's definitely satisfying. It's like watching a good action flick on TV. So on Amazon.com, there's 2 reviews right now, 4.5 out of 5. T. Robert says, if you want a book you cannot put down or you just need to keep reading that one more page or chapter, this is it. First book was awesome, gritty, and this one turns it up to an 11. So on his scale of 1 to 10, this one is an 11. Nessa's heading is, wow, very intense. And 4 stars by Brianna, whose heading says, violent thriller. The body says, drug gang vengeance, in one word, brutal. And I mean brutal in a good way, of course. If you've read the first novel in the series, Drug Gang, you totally understand the reason I picked that word. This book is full of drugs, fights, blood, violence, and general insanity. Think John Wick sort of craziness. So if that's your thing, this is definitely for you. Definitely give my video a little thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks so much for stopping by.